Over the years, we have seen a rise in so-called idle games across the mobile gaming sector. From tactical collectible card games like Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links to spaceship games like Eve Echoes, developers consistently find a way to include an idle mechanic into these games. At first, we the gamers are impressed. The need to cut out that all-familiar grind to acquire resources, in-game currency, or that next rare item is suddenly all made that much more tolerable, as you only have to put in 1% of the effort to get there as before. But then we get complacent. We start focusing more on optimising the idle experience than experiencing the game ourselves, and then before you know it, we've completed the grind, but the experience has become empty. You don't know what your next goal is going to be, because you've been that disconnected from the rest of the game itself, or at least that's how I've felt when using the idle mechanics, more notably when I've played Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links in the past, but I do experience this on occasion with Eve Echoes also. So why do these idle experiences even exist? Well, it would be easy to jump to an easy criticism of poor game design and just leave it there hanging in the open, but let's go a little bit deeper. As I noted earlier, idle features allow us to cut out the grind, but the problem there is the grind itself. When a game stops being entertaining, all the player has left to experience is what to them honestly feels like a grind. They will have a high chance of walking away in that case. To keep those players in the game's ecosystem, the idle mechanic is introduced to allow those very players to bypass the grind and get the good stuff and keep them around for when they feel like getting back into the game itself. But what if the player never actually left? What if the game was so fun, so engaging, that the player never considered booting up to the game to be a part of that daily grind? What if the rewards weren't the reason players logged into a game, but the experience itself was the reason to log in? The rewards representing more of a token to show off to your friends like in times gone by, like with the classic Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2. There are many games that have seen me consistently returning for more because they were so engaging and not because of the grind that must be overcome. Games like Hades, FTL, Slay the Spire, Hollow Knight, Cassette Beasts, and even the classic Pokemon games before they went 3D saw me consistently returning for more, regardless of whether I'd completed the game already and achieved all of its goals. Because the experience itself was what kept me coming back for more. There is of course another argument to the story that comes to mind for the support towards the idle game format, and that is time. Idle games are actively being advertised as being a way to fit a game into an already cluttered lifestyle, allowing you to supposedly play a game in those few minutes that are available to you throughout a day. But let me ask you, are you actually enjoying playing the game? Are you immersed in the game's world for those precious few minutes? Or are you just pressing a button and looking away until it's done? The odds are you'll be engaging more with a 30-second cat video on TikTok or YouTube Shorts than you are with these idle games that you're booting up. If you fall into the category of a mobile gamer who's looking for something to play in those precious few moments, something to genuinely engage with, I recommend checking out some of the offline games that you'll find in your respective app stores. Most of these games will involve a single purchase of the game, and some will even have a free demo experience, but they will all share the same trait, that being that you can play it for 5 minutes say, suspend the game in the background and return to it hours later. These games could be almost anything, from a narrative text-based RPG such as The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, to entertaining monster taming games like Nexomon, or even ports of popular board games such as Sci-Fi or Lords of Waterdeep if you want to get your practice in before the next games night. Remember, mobile gaming is about so much more than live service, daily login games with idle functionality. In fact, when preparing for this video, I decided to boot up Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links for some background footage, but not including the time it took to download the most recent updates, it took an entire additional 2 minutes to get past all of the announcements, event screens, new releases and so on before I could even select a single opponent to fight. So to summarise the video, if you find yourself a frequent user of the idle mechanics, feel free to check out other games. Games that don't have live service idle mechanics that leave you feeling disconnected, but instead those that you can engage with in bite-sized instalments across the day and find some genuine fun with. But alas, that's enough for today's ramble. Feel free to idly hit that subscribe button, and until the next video, play casual.